First contact. The sleek, silvery spacecraft Astral Seeker glided silently through Earth's upper atmosphere, its advanced cloaking technology rendering it invisible to human detection systems. Inside, Captain Zara of the Luminarian Scientific Course paced nervously, her luminescent skin pulsing with anticipation. Final approach to designated landing zone, announced Navigator Vex, their tentacles dancing gracefully over the ship's controls. Touchdown in approximately 5 Earth minutes. Zara nodded, her large, multifaceted eyes scanning the rest of her small but elite crew. "Remember," she said, her voice a melodic trill, "we are here strictly to observe and collect data. No direct contact with the indigenous life forms under any circumstances." The team of 4 Luminarian scientists had spent years studying Earth from afar, fascinated by the planet's biodiversity and the dominant species that called themselves humans. But nothing could have prepared them for the reality of setting foot on this alien world. As the Astral Seeker touched down in a remote forest clearing, Zara felt a mixture of excitement and trepidation. She had dedicated her career to xenobiology, but Earth represented something unprecedented. A planet teeming with complex life forms, each more bewildering than the last. "Atmospheric analysis complete," reported Lux, the team's environmental specialist. "Composition is within tolerable parameters, but I recommend we maintain our protective suits for now." Zara agreed, watching as her team donned their sleek, form-fitting exosuits. The transparent material allowed their bioluminescent patterns to shine through, while shielding them from potential contaminants. With a soft hiss, the ship's hatch opened, revealing the lush green world beyond. Zara took a deep breath, steeling herself for the unknown, then stepped out onto the soft earth. The forest was alive with sounds and scents unlike anything on their homeworld. Towering trees reached toward the sky, their leaves rustling in a gentle breeze. Small creatures scurried through the underbrush, while others flitted between branches overhead. "Incredible," whispered Nyx, the team's botanist, already crouching to examine a patch of vibrant wildflowers. "The diversity of plant life alone is staggering." Zara allowed her team a few moments to acclimate before refocusing them on their primary mission. "Remember, we're here to study the humans. Nyx, set up our long-range scanners. Lux, begin atmospheric and soil sampling. Vex, you're with me. We'll establish our primary observation post." As the others set to work, Zara and Vex made their way to the edge of the forest, where it gave way to rolling hills and farmland. In the distance, they could see the faint outlines of human dwellings. "Fascinating," Vex murmured, extending a sensor-equipped tentacle. "Their structures seem so impermanent compared to ours." Zara nodded, her mind racing with questions. How had these creatures, with their soft, vulnerable bodies, managed to become the dominant species on such a chaotic planet? What secrets did their biology hold? As if in answer to her unspoken queries, a rumbling sound caught their attention. A wheeled vehicle appeared on a nearby road, kicking up dust as it approached. "Quick," Zara hissed, activating her personal cloaking device. Vex followed suit, and they watched in rapt attention as the vehicle drew closer. It came to a stop not far from their position, and 2 humans emerged. Zara's heart raced as she observed them up close for the first time. They were tall, bipedal creatures with exposed skin in various shades of brown and pink. Their faces were incredibly expressive, displaying a range of emotions that Zara struggled to interpret. The humans stretched, their bodies moving in ways that seemed almost impossible to the Luminarians. They lacked the natural armor or bioluminescence of Zara's people, yet they moved with a fluid grace that was captivating. "Look at how they manipulate objects," Vex whispered, gesturing to one of the humans as they lifted a large container from the vehicle. "The dexterity of their appendages is remarkable." Zara watched in fascination as the humans set up what appeared to be some kind of temporary shelter. They laughed and talked, their voices carrying on the wind, a complex language that the Luminarians' translation devices struggled to fully decode. As the day wore on, Zara and her team observed the humans engaging in various activities. They saw displays of strength as the humans lifted heavy objects, demonstrations of endurance as they worked under the hot sun, and moments of surprising gentleness as they interacted with smaller creatures that approached their camp. "Captain," Lux's voice crackled over the comm system, "I've completed initial analysis of the atmospheric and soil samples. The results are puzzling." "Go on," Zara prompted, her eyes still fixed on the human camp. "This planet's environment is incredibly hostile by our standards. Constant exposure to radiation from their sun, extreme temperature fluctuations, and a myriad of microscopic organisms that would be lethal to us. Yet these humans not only survive, but thrive in these conditions." Zara felt a renewed sense of awe as she processed this information. "Their adaptability must be extraordinary," she mused. "We need to get closer to understand how their bodies function in this environment." As night fell, the humans retired to their shelter, giving the Luminarians a chance to regroup and share their findings. Back on the Astral Seeker, the team gathered around a holographic display of the human body. "Their internal structure is unlike anything we've encountered," Nix explained, manipulating the image to highlight different systems. "Instead of our crystalline support framework, they have this dense yet flexible internal skeleton." Vex chimed in, excitement evident in their voice. "And their nervous system. The complexity is astounding. It seems to allow for incredibly fine motor control and sensory input." Zara listened intently, her mind racing with the implications of their discoveries. "What about their reproductive process?" she asked, recalling the clear physical differences between the two humans they had observed. Lux brought up another set of diagrams. "It appears to be a binary system, with distinct male and female individuals. The process involves direct physical contact and an exchange of genetic material." The team fell silent for a moment, processing this alien concept. On their world, reproduction was a carefully controlled process of energy exchange and genetic recombination. "We need more data," Zara decided, her scientist's curiosity overriding her initial caution. "Tomorrow, we'll move our observation post closer to the human settlement. We must understand how these remarkable creatures interact in larger groups." As the team prepared for the next phase of their mission, Zara found herself staring out the viewport at the star-filled sky. She couldn't shake the feeling that their encounter with humanity was going to change everything, not just for their mission, but for the entire Luminarian civilization. Little did she know, events were already in motion that would bring the two species face to face sooner than anyone could have anticipated. As the Astral Seeker sat cloaked in the forest clearing, a curious human child was about to stumble upon a discovery that would reshape the future of both worlds. Cultural clash. As dawn broke over the forest, the Luminarian research team prepared for their next phase of observation. Captain Zara had decided to move their base of operations closer to the human settlement, a small town nestled in the valley below. The risk of detection was higher, but the potential for gathering more comprehensive data was too tempting to ignore. "Remember," Zara cautioned her team as they activated their personal cloaking devices, "absolute stealth is crucial. We're here to observe, not interact." The four alien scientists made their way down the hillside, their movements silent and graceful despite the unfamiliar terrain. As they approached the outskirts of the town, the sights, sounds, and smells of human civilization assaulted their senses. Vex's tentacles twitched with excitement. "Captain, the electromagnetic emissions from their technology are fascinating. So primitive, yet incredibly diverse." Zara nodded, her multifaceted eyes taking in every detail. The town was coming to life as humans emerged from their dwellings, heading to work or school. The variety of their appearances and behaviors was staggering. "Look," Nix whispered, pointing to a group of small humans accompanied by larger ones. "Some form of communal care for their young. Fascinating." The team spent hours observing the daily routines of the townspeople, marveling at the complex social interactions and the seemingly chaotic yet functional nature of human society. They watched as humans worked, played, argued, and reconciled, all with an emotional intensity that both confused and intrigued the luminarians. As midday approached, the town's central area became busier. Humans gathered in small groups, consuming sustenance and engaging in what appeared to be recreational activities. The air was filled with laughter, music, and the aroma of cooking food. Their methods of energy intake are so inefficient, Lux observed, scanning the various food items with a handheld device. Yet they seemed to derive great pleasure from the process. Zara was about to respond when a commotion near the edge of the town square caught her attention. A group of younger humans had surrounded one of their peers, their body language and vocalizations clearly hostile. Are they engaging in some form of dominance display? Vex asked, confusion evident in their voice. Zara watched intently as the situation escalated. The surrounded human, smaller than the others, seemed distressed. Suddenly, another young human broke through the circle, placing themselves between the group and the victim. Fascinating, Zara murmured. Some form of altruistic behavior. The newcomer's intervention seemed to diffuse the situation. The hostile group dispersed, leaving the two remaining humans to engage in what appeared to be a supportive interaction. As the day progressed, the luminarians continued to witness a bewildering array of human behaviors. They observed acts of kindness and cruelty, displays of strength and vulnerability, all intertwined in a complex social tapestry. "I don't understand," Nix admitted as they regrouped in a quiet alley. Their actions often seem to contradict their own self-interest. It's illogical. Zara found herself equally puzzled. The human's capacity for both compassion and conflict, often within moments of each other, challenged everything she thought she knew about sentient behavior. As evening approached, the team decided to explore the residential areas of the town. They moved silently between houses, peering through windows to observe humans in their private spaces. In one home, they watched a family gathered around a table, sharing a meal and engaged in animated conversation. The warmth and connection between the individuals was palpable, even to the alien observers. Next door, however, they witnessed a heated argument between two adults, their voices raised and bodies tense with anger. The contrast was jarring. How can they function as a society with such extreme emotional volatility? Lux wondered aloud. Before Zara could formulate a response, a sharp cry pierced the air. The team turned to see a small human child who had fallen from a wheeled contraption, scraping its knee on the pavement. What happened next astonished the luminarians. An adult human rushed to the child's aid, scooping them up and holding them close. The adult made soothing sounds, gently examining the injury before applying a small adhesive bandage. "The level of care they show for their young is remarkable," Zara observed, her voice soft with wonder. Perhaps this emotional intensity we've been witnessing is key to their survival in such a harsh environment. As night fell, the team retreated to the safety of their cloaked ship to analyze the day's observations. The holographic displays flickered with images and data streams as they attempted to make sense of human culture. Their society seems to be built on a foundation of contradictions, Vex mused, manipulating a 3D model of the town's social network. Cooperation and competition, love and hate, all coexisting in a delicate balance. Nix chimed in, excitement evident in their bioluminescent patterns. And their creativity. Did you see the variety of art forms they produce? Music, visual representations, storytelling, all seemingly without practical purpose, yet clearly vital to their culture. Zara listened to her team's observations, her own mind racing with questions. The more they learned about humans, the more enigmatic they became. How had these emotionally driven, physically vulnerable creatures managed to become the dominant species on their planet? As the discussion continued, Lux suddenly straightened, their appendages flying over a control panel. "Captain, I'm detecting an anomaly in our cloaking field. It appears to be fluctuating." Alarm rippled through the team. If their presence was discovered, it could jeopardize not only their mission, but potentially lead to a disastrous first contact scenario. Run a full diagnostic, Zara ordered, her tone sharp with concern. We need tow. Her words were cut short by a soft thud against the ship's hull, followed by a sound that made all 4 luminarians freeze in shock, a human voice, young and filled with wonder, calling out, "Hello, is anyone in there?" The team exchanged panicked looks. Their worst fear had been realized. They had been discovered. As Zara struggled to decide their next move, she realized that everything they had learned about humanity was about to be put to the test. The cultural clash they had observed from afar was now going to become intensely personal. How would these emotional, unpredictable creatures react to the presence of alien life? And more importantly, how would this encounter reshape the future of both their species? As the human voice called out again, more insistent this time, Zara knew that the next few moments would determine the course of their mission, and perhaps the fate of interstellar relations for generations to come. Unexpected alliance. Captain Zara's mind raced as she considered their options. The curious human child outside could expose their presence to the entire town, potentially causing panic or worse. Yet, the opportunity for peaceful first contact was tantalizingly close. "What do we do, Captain?" Vex asked, their tentacles twitching nervously. Zara made a split-second decision. "We engage. Carefully. Locks, modify our translator algorithms for verbal communication. Nix, prepare a non-threatening appearance protocol." As her team scrambled to comply, Zara took a deep breath and approached the ship's hatch. With a silent prayer to the cosmic forces that had brought them to this moment, she activated the opening mechanism. The hatch slid open with a soft hiss, revealing a wide-eyed human child of about 10 Earth years. The young girl's mouth fell open in astonishment as she took in the alien forms before her. "Greetings, young human," Zara said, her translator converting her melodic tones into accented English. "We come in peace." The child's initial shock gave way to unbridled excitement. "Wow, real aliens. This is so cool. I'm Lily. Are you here to take over the world?" Zara blinked her multifaceted eyes, taken aback by the child's rapid shift from fear to enthusiasm. "No, Lily. We are scientists, here to study your world and its inhabitants." Lily's face lit up with a grin. "Like a science project? Awesome. Can I help? I'm great at science." Before Zara could respond, a shout came from the direction of the town. "Lily, where are you? It's getting dark." Panic flashed across the girl's face. "That's my mom. You have to hide. If the grown-ups find out about you, they'll freak out." Zara hesitated, torn between protocol and the unexpected opportunity presented by this precocious young human. "Lily, we need your assistance. Can you keep our presence a secret?" The girl nodded vigorously. "Totally. This can be our secret mission. But you have to promise to teach me about space and stuff." As Lily's mother called out again, the girl quickly hatched a plan with the Luminarians. She would run interference, keeping the adults from discovering the alien ship while helping the team gather information about human culture. Over the next few days, Lily proved to be an invaluable asset to the Luminarian research team. She snuck away whenever possible, bringing them books, technology, and insights into human life that they could never have gained through mere observation. "So, you guys don't have movies or video games?" Lily asked incredulously during one of their clandestine meetings. "That's so sad. Here, I brought my tablet. I'll show you some of the best ones." The Luminarians found themselves captivated by human entertainment, marveling at the creativity and emotional depth of their stories. Zara, in particular, was fascinated by the concept of fiction, the ability to create entire worlds and scenarios from pure imagination. In return, the aliens shared knowledge of the cosmos, explaining concepts that were far beyond Earth's current scientific understanding. Lily soaked it all in, her young mind expanding with each new revelation. However, their peaceful exchange was not destined to last. On the 5th day of their secret alliance, alarms blared throughout the astral seeker. Captain, Vex called out, their tentacles flying over the control panels. We're detecting a massive energy surge approaching Earth's atmosphere. It appears to be, oh no. Zara felt her heart sink as she recognized the energy signature. The Kryvax, she whispered, her bioluminescent patterns pulsing with dread. The Kryvax were a notoriously aggressive species, known for strip mining inhabited worlds with little regard for indigenous life. If they had set their sights on Earth, the consequences would be catastrophic. We have to warn them, Nyx exclaimed, their usually calm demeanor shattered by the impending threat. Zara nodded grimly. Agreed. But how? We're a small research vessel. We don't have the capability to defend against a Kryvax invasion fleet. At that moment, Lully's voice crackled over their hastily rigged communication device. Guys, are you there? Something weird is happening. There are these huge lights in the sky, and everyone's freaking out. Zara made a decision that would change the course of both human and Luminarian history. Lily, listen carefully. Those lights are not friendly. We need your help to save your world. Over the next frantic hours, Lily became the unlikely bridge between two species. She convinced her parents and local authorities to listen to the Luminarians' warnings, translating complex scientific concepts into terms the humans could understand and act upon. As panic spread across the globe, world leaders were forced to acknowledge the reality of both the friendly alien researchers and the looming threat. The Luminarians found themselves thrust into the role of advisors, sharing their advanced technology and knowledge to help Earth prepare for the coming. Zara watched in awe as humanity rallied in the face of extinction. Countries that had been on the brink of war now worked together, pooling resources and setting aside old grudges. The ingenuity and determination she had observed on a small scale in the town now played out on a global stage. It's remarkable, she mused of her team as they worked alongside human scientists to retrofit Earth's satellites for early warning systems. In the span of days, they'd advanced their technology by centuries. Lily, who had become an unofficial member of the Luminarian team, grinned up at her alien friend. That's what humans do best. When our backs are against the wall, we get creative. As the first wave of Kryvax ships entered the solar system, Earth was as ready as it could be. The planet's combined military forces, augmented by Luminarian tech, stood poised to defend their home. Zara, originally sent to study humanity, now found herself fighting alongside them. As the first shots of the battle were fired, she realized that this unexpected alliance might just be the key to saving not only Earth, but countless other worlds from the Kryvax threat. The fate of two species, brought together by the curiosity of a child and the compassion of scientists, now hung in the balance. As the sky lit up with the fire of combat, Zara silently vowed to do everything in her power to protect this remarkable world and its inspiring inhabitants. The real test of humanity's resilience and the strength of their newfound interstellar friendship was about to begin, trial by fire. The sky above Earth blazed with the fury of interstellar combat. Kryvax warships, vast and menacing, descended through the atmosphere, their energy weapons carving glowing trails through the clouds. Earth's combined military forces, bolstered by hastily adapted Luminarian technology, rose to meet them in a desperate bid for survival. Captain Zara found herself in the heart of the Global Defense Command Center, a repurposed underground bunker teeming with a mix of human military personnel and her own small team of scientists. The air was thick with tension and the acrid smell of overworked electronics. Kryvax forces breaching the outer defense grid in sectors 7 and 13, a human officer called out, his voice strained but steady. Zara's multifaceted eyes darted between holographic displays, her mind racing to process the unfolding battle. Redirect the particle shield generators to those sectors, she ordered. Vex, status on the planetary EMP. Her tentacled companion manipulated a series of controls with lightning speed. Charging at 67%, Captain. We need another 15 minutes to reach full capacity. A deafening boom shook the bunker, causing dust to rain down from the ceiling. Lily, who had refused to be evacuated with the other civilians, clutched Zara's arm in fear. "They're getting closer, aren't they?" the young girl asked, her voice barely a whisper. Zara placed a comforting hand on Lily's shoulder, marveling at how quickly she had come to care for this small human. "Yes, but we're not beaten yet. Your people have a saying, the night is darkest before the dawn." As if in response to her words, a cheer erupted from the human side of the command center. A grizzled general approached Zara, a rare smile breaking through his stern facade. "Captain, the South Atlantic Squadron just took down one of their capital ships. Your gravity well technology worked." A ripple of hope spread through the bunker. It was a small victory, but a significant one, proof that the Kryvacs were not invincible. The battle raged on, hours blurring into days. The Luminarians watched in awe as humanity demonstrated a level of adaptability and determination that defied all expectations. Soldiers fought with unparalleled bravery, scientists worked around the clock to reverse engineer alien tech, and ordinary citizens banded together in extraordinary ways to support the war effort. Zara found herself constantly amazed by human ingenuity. When Kryvak's jamming technology threatened to cripple Earth's communications, a team led by Lily's parents developed a quantum entanglement-based system that was impossible to intercept or disrupt. When Kryvak's ground forces landed in major cities, guerrilla tactics and improvised weapons kept them at bay long enough for countermeasures to be deployed. But the cost was high. Major cities lay in ruins, millions were displaced, and the casualty reports grew longer by the hour. The weight of each loss pressed heavily on Zara's conscience. Had she done the right thing by involving humanity in this interstellar conflict? Her doubts were put to the test when a Kryvak strike team managed to infiltrate the command bunker. Alarms blared as heavily armed aliens pushed through the defensive perimeter, their battle cries sending chills through both humans and Luminarians alike. In the chaos, Zara found herself separated from her team, cornered alongside a group of human soldiers and scientists, including Lily. The girl's eyes were wide with terror, but she stood her ground, clutching a makeshift weapon. As the Kryvak's forces burst into the room, time seemed to slow. Zara saw the determination in the eyes of the humans around her, saw Lily's small hand reach out to grasp hers. In that moment, she understood something fundamental about humanity. Their greatest strength lay not in their technology or their physical capabilities, but in their unwavering spirit and their capacity for unity in the face of overwhelming odds. With a surge of resolve, Zara tapped into a part of herself she never knew existed. She began coordinating the humans around her, combining Luminarian tactical knowledge with human unpredictability. Together, they fought with a synchronicity that caught the Kryvaks completely off guard. Lily, proving once again that her quick mind was humanity's secret weapon, noticed a pattern in the Kryvaks' armor and pointed out a weakness. The human soldiers exploited it ruthlessly, turning the tide of the skirmish. As the last Kryvaks invader fell, Zara looked around at the battered but unbowed defenders. Humans and Luminarians stood side by side, bloodied but victorious. It was a microcosm of the larger battle raging across the planet, two species united against a common threat, each elevating the other to heights they could never have achieved alone. The victory in the bunker proved to be a turning point. With the command center secured, Zara and her team were able to finalize their masterstroke, a massive planet-wide EMP refined by human engineers to target only Kryvak's technology. As the countdown to activation began, Zara felt a tugging on her suit. She looked down to see Lily, her young face streaked with dirt and tears, but her eyes shining with indomitable hope. "We're going to win, aren't we?" the girl asked. Zara knelt down, meeting Lily's gaze. "Thanks to you and your remarkable species, yes, I believe we are." The EMP detonated in a silent wave of energy that swept across the globe. Kryvak's ships fell from the sky like metallic rain, their systems fried beyond recovery. On the ground, their fearsome war machines stood dormant, reduced to little more than elaborate statues. In the stunned silence that followed, Zara realized that this trial by fire had forged something unprecedented, a bond between humans and Luminarians that transcended mere alliance. They had blowed together, fought together, and ultimately triumphed together. As the first tentative cheers began to echo through the command center, growing quickly to a deafening roar of victory, Zara allowed herself a moment of reflection. The Luminarians had come to Earth to study humanity, but in the crucible of war, they had become something more. They had become family. The Kryvax threat was neutralized, but the real challenge was just beginning. How would this newfound partnership between humans and Luminarians reshape the galaxy? As Zara watched Lully being embraced by her tearful parents, she knew that whatever the future held, it would be faced together. The dawn of a new era was breaking, not just for Earth, but for the entire cosmos. And at its heart stood the unlikely heroes, a curious human child and an alien scientist whose friendship had changed the course of history. Mutual understanding. In the weeks following the Kryvax defeat, Earth began the arduous process of rebuilding. Cities lay in ruins, millions were displaced, and the very fabric of human society had been irrevocably altered. Yet amidst the devastation, a new spirit of global unity and interstellar cooperation flourished. The Luminarian research vessel, once hidden and isolated, now sat proudly in the center of a hastily constructed international science complex. Captain Zara and her team worked tirelessly alongside human scientists, sharing knowledge and technology to aid in the reconstruction efforts. Zara stood at the entrance of the complex, her multifaceted eyes taking in the flurry of activity. Humans and Luminarians moved about with purpose, their previous barriers of mistrust and misunderstanding all but forgotten in the wake of their shared victory. "It's amazing, isn't it?" Lully's voice piped up beside her. The young girl, now hailed as a hero for her role in the war, had become an unofficial ambassador between the two species. Zara nodded, her bioluminescent patterns pulsing with a mix of emotions. "Indeed, your people's capacity for adaptation continues to astonish me." They watched as a team of human engineers, guided by Vex, calibrated a massive anti-gravity device. The technology, once used solely for Luminarian space travel, was being repurposed to clear debris and rebuild structures at an unprecedented rate. Nearby, Nix was engaged in an animated discussion with a group of botanists. The alien scientist's knowledge of extraterrestrial flora was proving invaluable in developing new, resilient crops to address food shortages caused by the invasion. "Captain," Lux approached, their tentacles gesturing excitedly. "The humans have made a breakthrough in understanding our crystalline computing systems. They've already developed a prototype that integrates their binary code with our quantum matrices." Zara marveled at the news. In mere weeks, humanity had advanced their technology by centuries, their innate curiosity and innovative spirit supercharged by access to alien knowledge. But it wasn't just technological exchange that was transforming both societies. Cultural understanding was blossoming in ways no one could have predicted. In a corner of the complex, a mixed group of human and Luminarian children sat enraptured as they listened to stories. A Luminarian elder, their bioluminescent patterns shimmering with each word, recounted ancient legends of their homeworld. Beside them, a human teacher shared Earth's fairy tales, the fantastical narratives bridging the gap between two vastly different species. "Lily," Zara said, turning to her young friend, "would you give me a tour of the new Cultural Exchange Center? I believe you were involved in its design." The girl's face lit up with pride. "Of course, you're going to love it." As they walked through the facility, Zara was struck by the harmonious blend of human and Luminarian aesthetics. Interactive displays showcased the art, music, and traditions of both worlds. In one room, a group of humans were attempting to master the complex harmonics of Luminarian song, their voices creating an otherworldly chorus. In another, Luminarians studied the fluid movements of human dance, their normally rigid bodies swaying with newfound grace. And this, Lily said, gesturing grandly to a large, circular chamber, is the Collaborative Creativity Lab. It's where artists and scientists from both species come together to imagine the future. Zara stepped into the room, immediately captivated by the swerving holographic displays. They showed visions of terraformed planets, advanced spacecraft designs, and concepts for interstellar communities where humans and luminarians lived side by side. "It's beautiful," Zara murmured, her scientist's mind racing with the possibilities. As they continued their tour, they passed by a memorial wall. Photographs and holograms of those lost in the Kryvax invasion, both human and luminarian, covered its surface. Zara felt a pang of sorrow, remembering the cost of their victory. Lully, sensing her alien friend's distress, took Zara's hand. "We'll never forget them," she said softly. "But look at what their sacrifice made possible." She pointed to a group of human and luminarian medical professionals huddled around a 3D model of hybridized anatomy. They were pioneering new treatments that combined the best of both species' medical knowledge, promising to cure diseases once thought untreatable. "You're right," Zara acknowledged, squeezing Lully's hand gently. "They gave us a chance at a future neither of our species could have imagined alone." As the day wore on, Zara found herself reflecting on the incredible journey that had brought them to this point. What had begun as a simple scientific mission had evolved into something far greater, a partnership that promised to reshape the galaxy. The Luminarians, once content to observe from afar, now found themselves deeply invested in Earth's future, and humanity, with its boundless creativity and determination, was eager to take its place among the stars. That evening, as the sun set on the new interspecies complex, a celebration was held to commemorate the first month of peace. Humans and luminarians mingled freely, sharing food, drink, and stories. The air was filled with a mix of human laughter and the melodic trills of luminarian joy. Zara stood on a balcony overlooking the festivities, joined by Lily and her parents. As they watched the two species interact with growing ease and affection, Lily's father turned to Zara with a smile. "You know," he said, "when Lily first told us about meeting aliens in the woods, we thought it was just her imagination. Now look at us. We're planning joint space missions and cultural exchange programs. It's beyond anything we could have dreamed." Zara nodded, her bioluminescent patterns glowing warmly. "We came here to study your world, to understand how you had achieved so much despite your physical limitations. But in the end, you taught us far more than we could have ever learned through mere observation." As the celebration continued below, a shooting star streaked across the darkening sky. Lovey pointed excitedly, explaining the human custom of making a wish. Zara looked out at the blending of her people with humanity, at the seeds of a new civilization taking root before her eyes. She thought of the challenges that still lay ahead, but also of the incredible potential born from this unexpected alliance. In that moment, alien though she was, Zara found herself making a wish of her own, that this newfound understanding between their species would continue to grow, leading both humanity and the Luminarians towards a brighter, shared future among the stars. The journey of mutual discovery was far from over. In fact, it had only just begun. A new future. 5 years had passed since the Kryvax invasion, and Earth had undergone a transformation that would have seemed impossible half a decade ago. The planet was now a bustling hub of interstellar activity, with ships from various alien species coming and going, drawn by the unique alliance between humans and luminarians. Captain Zara stood on the observation deck of Harmony Station, a massive orbital platform that served as Earth's gateway to the stars. Her multifaceted eyes took in the breathtaking view of the blue-green planet below, now ringed by a network of satellites and smaller stations. "Still hard to believe sometimes, isn't it?" a familiar voice said beside her. Zara turned to see Lily, no longer the small child who had discovered their ship in the woods, but a young woman on the cusp of adulthood. She wore the uniform of the newly formed Earth Luminarian Space Academy, a badge of the integrated future they were building. Zara's bioluminescent patterns pulsed with affection. Indeed, your species continues to surprise me, even after all this time. They watched as a sleek spacecraft, its design a seamless blend of human ingenuity and Luminarian technology, departed from the station. It carried a joint team of human and Luminarian scientists on a mission to explore a newly discovered exoplanet. The Galactic Council meeting starts in an hour, Lily reminded her. Are you ready? Zara nodded, her posture straightening. As the official representative of the Earth Luminarian Alliance, she was about to present their case for full membership in the interstellar community. It was a pivotal moment, one that would solidify their place among the spacefaring races. As they made their way through the station, Zara marveled at how seamlessly the two species now worked together. Human engineers collaborated with Luminarian scientists, their complementary strengths leading to breakthroughs that neither could have achieved alone. In the hydroponics bay, plants from both worlds grew side by side, part of an ongoing project to create sustainable ecosystems for long-term space travel. They passed by the station's education center, where a class of mixed human and Luminarian children were learning about the history of their alliance. Zara paused for a moment, watching as the instructor, a holographic AI that combined knowledge from both species, recounted the story of the Kryvax invasion and the unlikely friendship that had saved two worlds. You know, Lily said softly, they're calling it the Zara-Lily Accord in the history books now. Feels kind of surreal. Zara felt a wave of emotion wash over her. We merely opened the door. It was the courage and creativity of both our peoples that built this future. As they approached the Grand Council chamber, they were joined by the rest of the Earth Luminarian delegation. Vex, Nyx, and Lux were there, along with human scientists, diplomats, and military leaders. Among them was General Chen, once skeptical of alien contact, now one of the strongest advocates for interstellar cooperation. Ready to make history, Captain? The general asked with a grin. Zara nodded, her antenna twitching with a mix of nervousness and excitement. As ready as we'll ever be. The doors to the chamber swung open, revealing a vast circular room filled with representatives from dozens of alien races. Some were familiar to Zara, while others were so exotic that even her xenobiologist's mind struggled to comprehend their forms. As the Earth Luminarian delegation took their seats, a hush fell over the assembly. The Supreme Counselor, a being of pure energy contained within a crystalline matrix, floated to the center of the room. We are gathered here today, the Counselor's voice resonated in multiple frequencies, to consider the application of the Earth Luminarian Alliance for full membership in the Galactic Council. Captain Zara, you may present your case. Zara rose, feeling the weight of two worlds on her shoulders. She began to speak, her words carried across the chamber in a multitude of languages. Esteemed members of the Council, I stand before you not just as a Luminarian, nor do I speak solely for humanity. I represent a new kind of civilization, one born from the union of two vastly different species who found common ground in the face of adversity. She went on to detail the achievements of the Alliance over the past 5 years, advancements in medicine that had cured diseases across multiple species, breakthroughs in faster-than-light travel, and pioneering work in cultural exchange that had already helped prevent 3 interstellar conflicts. But beyond these technological and diplomatic achievements, Zara continued, her voice growing passionate, we offer something more. We bring a new perspective to the galactic community. Our alliance proves that diversity is not an obstacle to be overcome, but a strength to be celebrated. In combining the analytical minds of the Luminarians with the boundless creativity of humanity, we have discovered that the whole is far greater than the sum of its parts. As Zara spoke, holographic displays showcased the vibrant, integrated society that had flourished on Earth. Images of human Luminarian families, joint scientific expeditions, and collaborative art projects flashed before the Council. We stand ready to share our unique insights with the galaxy at large, Zara concluded, to work alongside all of you in building a more harmonious and prosperous future for all sentient beings. We ask not just for membership, but for the opportunity to contribute to the greater galactic family. As Zara took her seat, the chamber erupted in a cacophony of alien voices and gestures. Debates raged, questions were asked and answered, and testimonies were given by other races who had already begun to benefit from Earth luminarian innovations. Hours passed, feeling like an eternity to the waiting delegation. Finally, the Supreme Counselor called for silence. "We have deliberated and have reached a decision," the Counselor announced. "Never in the history of this Council have we seen two species integrate so fully and so rapidly. Your alliance represents a new model of cooperation that could reshape the very fabric of galactic society." Zara felt Lully's hand grip hers tightly as they waited for the final verdict. "It is the decision of this Council to grant full membership to the Earth Luminarian Alliance, effective immediately. Furthermore, we invite your representatives to join a special committee tasked with promoting interspecies cooperation across the galaxy. Your unique experience will be invaluable in this endeavor." The chamber exploded with sounds of approval and congratulations. Zara found herself embraced by Lily, both of them laughing and crying at the same time. Around them, humans and luminarians celebrated together, their joy transcending the boundaries of species. As the formalities concluded and the delegates began to disperse, Zara and Lily found themselves once again at the observation window, gazing out at the star-filled expanse of space. "So," Lily said, a hint of her childhood excitement creeping into her voice, "what's next?" Zara's bioluminescent patterns shimmered with possibility. "The universe is vast, my friend, and now we'll explore it together, not just as humans and luminarians, but as part of something even greater." As they stood there, contemplating the infinite potential that lay before them, both Zara and Lily knew that this was not an ending, but a beginning. The unlikely friendship that had begun in a forest clearing on Earth had blossomed into a partnership that would shape the destiny of galaxies. The future, bright with promise and teeming with undiscovered wonders, awaited them. And they would face it as they had faced every challenge since that fateful first encounter, side by side, two species united in their quest for knowledge, understanding, and the betterment of all.